Howdy, gamers. So, uh, yeah, let's start with an explanation of this video in general. I have had the script written and the voiceover recorded for a knife builds video for months now. But honestly, every time I even thought about recording and editing gameplay footage, it made me sick to my stomach and I didn't want to do it. So I figured the best way to tackle it is just to live stream so you guys aren't just staring at slides of statistics and things like that. So to start out, knife's pretty easy to pick up. I'm in Cerbule right now, and so the knife trainer is somewhere over here. Yeah, Bodba is the guy's name. There's like some kind of elemental or something boss that's over here in a circle of stones. He's just outside of it. I don't think there are any major requirements to picking up knife, so you can get it pretty early. And knife is a lot more versatile than it might seem at first. So first thing I wanted to show you, I have crafted a set of gear just to kind of speed this process up. So I have a set of knife sword gear right now. And we're just going to take a peek under the hood of knife a little bit. So one of the first things I do when I'm starting up a new build, and now with this caveat, I have a couple of advantages over the average person, right, who's just starting out. So one of the advantages that I have is that I have a whole bunch of crafting skills that are up to at least a semi-decent level. So I've got leatherworking pretty high. I mean, it's only level, 59, but still, for testing out early builds, it's what I need. And I have a bunch of mats saved as well. So all the mats I have to make all of this stuff is just laying around usually and in bigger quantities than I know what to do with. So I like using evasion gear because that chance to evade is really nice, especially for melee builds. It's only a chance to evade projectiles. So if you're needing to close the gap or something, that's a good way to keep yourself alive while you're trying to do that. Leather in general just is better for health regen. It's not great on power. So like I am working right now on my Firefox build, and that build I am using some evasion gear because there was, at least initially, a lot of melee stuff going on with it. Now that I've kind of changed that build up a little bit, I'm not using evasion gear anymore for that. I've switched over to cloth because honestly the power requirements for that are stupid. So we're just going to take a look really quickly at some of the mods that are available on each of these pieces. And so this is going to give me an idea without having to look at the wiki, without having to go anywhere else. This is going to just give me an idea of what's kind of available to this. Already off the bat, I see some trauma damage options here. It looks like poison over time. Fan of Blades causes the target to take plus 11 damage from poison for 30 seconds. So that's also poison synergy there. Slice damage, plus 16%. Slice is a slashing ability. So we've got some synergies with slashing. Marking Cut, I don't know if I have that ability yet. For knife, let's see. I do, okay. It also is a slashing ability. For this knife sword build, I might actually sub that in for something else I'm using. So yeah, I have Fending Blade here, which is rage reducing, and it has no rage cost, which is super nice, but I'm not doing a piercing build here, so for my first one, so I might actually slot oh wait, I have it slotted already. Well, never mind. Let's put that back for now. Okay, so some more slashing synergy basically. Surprise throw, boost epic damage. Plus 66 for 30 seconds if the target is not focused on you. Let's see if I have any epic abilities already. Doesn't look like anything in knife just yet. There's even a healing ability. Of my sword abilities, I don't think I have anything. No. So nothing really that helps at the moment for epic damage. And it requires also if the target is not focused on you. So there are a lot of these things in yeah, there's a lot of those kinds of things built within knife where it's like if you are behind the target, if the target's not focused on you, you get a bunch of bonuses to knife damage. This is great for party play, but like unless you're using animal handling, or if you're using like necromancy with like the golem, or honestly fire magic now with the changes that have been made to walls. Basically, any kind of solo build where you've got something else tanking for you, this is fine. But any other kind of solo build, that's not going to do you any good. All right, another poison boost, another trauma. Blur cut boosts burst evasion. That's actually really nice for like solo play. Being able to dodge AoE attacks at a 14% rate, not super great, but better than nothing. And then Venom Strike. So a lot of poison synergies here. Not so many slicing synergies as I would like, or slashing synergies, I should say. All of the mod options on this are going to be the same for both slots. So those are shoe mods. I'm pairing this with sword, which I know has a lot of slashing and some piercing synergies, but mostly these are going to be a lot of slashing synergies. So, and that's a pretty nice mod. And if honestly, if you can pair this with some rage reduction, which might be why I have this fending blade here, because if they have less than 33% of their max rage, all sword abilities deal plus 11% damage. That's a fairly good mod. So that's shoes. Let's take a look at pants. Okay, Wind Strike and Heart Piercer. Okay, these are all sword. So let's look at our... Okay, Opening Thrust heals you for 6% health. Pretty good survivability. I mean, not great. Six health, and I'm at... Of course, I'm not wearing this particular gear right now, but let's just equip this for a second and see. Oh, can't equip it yet because I need to level up sword also. So, yeah, I think my sword is only at like level 23. I've not spent, basically since Starter Island, I've not done a ton on sword. So that will be something I'll have to work on. Okay. Undead targets suffer indirects. Okay. Getting distracted now. So let's jump back in over here. And just look at these mods. So Fending Blade reduces damage and reduces rage. Okay, this must be why I put this here when I was initially setting up this build a long time ago. Because it has been a minute. Fan of Blade, Hamstring Throw, Surprise Throw, deal plus 11, and their reuse timer is reduced. I don't know that I have any of those abilities yet. Let's see. Fan of Blades, Hamstring Throw, Surprise Throw. All right, I do have Hamstring Throw. It's a piercing attack. Target movement speed is reduced. Not terrible. Let's see if I don't have any of the others yet, so that might be worth looking into. Okay, Blur Cut does poison damage. Surge Cut restores power to you, which is pretty nice. I don't know what the power... I haven't played with this enough to know what the power requirements are going to be for this build. Surprise Throw boost epic attack. Still not really a great one. Marking Cut deals plus 18 and grants accuracy to your next knife ability. A possibility. Poisoner's Cut, which is all poison stuff, and then Gut, which I think is piercing and trauma. Yeah. Okay. So again, a lot of poison synergies, a lot of good piercing stuff, some pretty interesting utility things, but not a lot of slashing, which I'm a little surprised about. Okay, a chest. All right, looks like my knife abilities are on top here. Marking, cut, trauma, poison, slice plus percentage, gut deals direct damage, hamstring throw, surprise throw, gut deals additional trauma damage. After opening thrust, all knife abilities gain +6 accuracy and have a 6% chance to deal. Okay, that's a pretty nice one. That's one I'll probably keep in. The percentages are kind of low, but when it hits, that's not horrible. Knife abilities with cut in their name cause all knife abilities without cut in their name to have a +20% chance to deal. Okay, which may be another reason why I'm using marking cut here. I've also got blur cut in the lineup, which is a slashing one, so that's part of that. Okay. Hopefully my rambling is not too awful. But you kind of see where we're getting at. A lot of interesting utility things here. Okay, on to the gloves. Venom Strike, backstab to elite targets is not terrible, but this is, you're gonna use that more in dungeons and things like that. Fending Blade restores power. Fan of Blades damage. Surprise throw if the target's not focused on you. Opening thrust, all knife abilities gain +6 accuracy, 6% chance to deal +25 damage. Okay, that's the same one we saw earlier. Slice, the cut in their name bonus. And then another nice one, Duelist Slash, hits all targets within 8 meters and deals +13 damage. So this turns one of my knife abilities into an AoE. I'm all about having extra AoEs. So that looks like the glove mods. Head. This is looking pretty similar to things we've seen before. I never can remember which pairs of gear share the same mod block, but looks like we've seen all of these before. Okay, so it looks like there's a potential for a lot of synergy with slashing damage. I would be interested now to see about swords trauma damage. So it looks like, yeah, we've got some mods here that do that. Trauma is a nice damage type because it bypasses armor a lot of times. So direct to health damage is really nice. Now, it's really great for solo play. It's kind of doesn't really help a lot in group play because anyone else who's playing something that's not trauma damage is going to have to do damage to armor before they can even get to health. So you're not really helping out a party a ton. But nice for solo play. Okay, so we've got some boost to trauma damage here, it looks like. Let's see here. Yeah, Hacking Blade does trauma. All right. So a couple there also. Let's look here again. Mini Cut deals trauma. Okay. So initially going into this, I'm thinking, I noticed several abilities that have slashing in knife, and you could probably build a decent knife sword slashing build. But now I'm wondering if, yeah, finishing blow causes your next attack to deal +100 damage if it deals trauma. Okay, very nice for just a level 30 mod. Also, super nice. Yeah, so now I'm wondering if it might not be better to build a trauma build from this. Here we've got that mod again. Is this knife? It is knife. Let's go back down here. Finishing blow, decapitate. Many cuts, hits all enemies. Precision pierce boost, nice attacks. I had a nice attack in my knife abilities. Let's see which one it was. Attack, signature debuff, core. Nice. Venom strike. Okay, well, not super great for this build since it's all poison damage. But I know sword has some nice, yeah, like finishing blow is a nice attack, so that could be useful for that. Sword abilities have a chance to restore 16 health to you. If I had nothing else, that'd be pretty good. Okay, so I'll check head slot, but I think I've seen all of these already. Yeah. Okay, indirects, poison, trauma, and psychic are plus 22% while sword is active. So there's quite a few things it looks like that are playing into this trauma synergy between these two. So I might actually consider, yeah, a trauma build on this. Okay, so from here, the things I'm going to look for, I'm going to start setting up abilities first. That's another limiter on what I can do in terms of mods and stuff like that, because I don't want to like start stacking mods and I'm like, woo, synergies and all this stuff, and then I've got things that are boosting 8 sword abilities, different sword abilities, but I've only got 6 sword slots. So let's look through. Sword is not going to be the limiter here, I don't think, because I'd be surprised if I have 6 sword abilities. We're going to look at the things that do trauma damage or have some kind of utility. Okay, I don't understand. Leaves the enemy. Does -6 trauma damage over 6 seconds? What does that mean exactly? I'm healing them for trauma damage? I don't know what doing -6 trauma over 6 seconds means. Okay, slashing. If the target's off guard, next attack deals. Okay, wind strike's probably going to be in here. Mini cuts will stay. Finishing blow does slashing, but we saw a couple mods in there that will use finishing blow to set up some other things. So this one does 6 trauma damage, so we'll keep that there. Target's attacks deal -10. That's okay. And then we've got our basic attack, which is just doing slashing. And I don't know that we need 2 basic attacks here. And I think opening thrust is going to give us more bang for our buck. So let's see, maybe riposte. For combos that require parry, you can use riposte instead. It does 65 slashing, 93 if the target's off guard, and it reduces rage. So yes, please, we'll add that in. Precision pierce is doing piercing damage. I don't know that that's helping us with anything. It does reduce rage. That's nice. So I know decapitate is nice, but you kind of have to build towards decapitate, and that's an expensive build to do, and it's tough because you need some very specific mods to make it do any kind of damage at all. I know a lot of people find decapitate builds when they're early on playing sword, and they get really frustrated because they die all the time, and a lot of that is just they just don't have the gear early on. Okay, flashing strike. It does extra to undead. But it's indirect nature damage. I don't know that helps us super well. Precision pierce is a rage reducer. Let's see if we've got something that can go. Okay, we do need that. Next attack deals plus 38. That's nice. Mini cuts we're keeping. Okay, so it looks like debilitating blow has got to go. So I'm going to replace that with precision pierce. Which makes sense because a lot of my knife abilities do piercing damage too. So if by some chance I've got piercing synergy that needs to happen, I've got one. Not that that's necessarily going to be a thing. Okay. Knife base damage is boosted by 16% for your next attack. I'm going to leave that where it's at. Fending Blade, we saw a lot of things that seemed nice for that, and it's got a big rage reduce on it. Slice Dust slashing plus more if the target's off guard, so we'll leave it for now. Blur Cut is slashing, and we get melee evasion. We'll leave that there. Okay, this is going to need throwing knives, which I don't know if I have access to right now, so we're going to leave that off at the moment. Okay, this one does do the trauma damage. We've got it slotted. This one is a slashing, uses 2 dual-wielded knives, so since I'm using sword, that's not going to be an option. I'm not going to use Venom Strike. We do have Marking Cut here. Surge Cut is also... Okay, slashing revitalizes you, it injures your enemy. Not bad. Maybe we replace Slice with this just because I like the utility. Okay. So now that we've got that, my philosophy for rolling mods on gear pieces that when you're not trying to build out a set, right? So I really focus on getting the right mods only on a couple of different gear sets. My level 50 set, my level 70 set, my 90 set, my max level set. Those are the only ones where I'm like specifically trying to min-max things. Otherwise, you're wasting materials. Let's be honest, cash is hard to come by early in the game, and so you're going to want to sell a lot of the equipment that you find. You're not going to want to be trying to distill every single thing into flog unless you're just leveling transmutation or something like that. So yeah, I tend to not roll for very specific mods when I'm rolling my early gear. I'm just going to look for stuff that seems to support the theme that I'm building or give me some kind of utility in any way. So for example, here we have on my head slot, Surge Cut deals trauma damage. Do I have Surge Cut on my bars? I do, and it's trauma damage, and it's damage over time, which is nice. I'm keeping that mod. Knife base damage, plus 15%. Hey, that's a flat percent increase at low levels especially. That's really nice. I'm going to keep it. Debilitating Blow damage. I'm not using Debilitating Blow, am I? Nope. So I'm going to re-roll this one. And I'm only going to re-roll until I get something that is nice. So parry and riposte further, reduce target's rage. Love it. Okay. And then Hacking Blade damage. I've got Hacking Blade here. It's giving me plus 18%. I wonder if that applies. Oh, it's direct damage. So the trauma over 6 seconds is not being increased. But still, it's useful because I have this ability slotted. So I'm going to leave it. Let's go on to my boots next. Hamstring throw, I'm not using because I don't have throwing knives yet, and I don't want to mess with that right now. So we're going to re-roll this one just until we get something useful. Blur Cut boosts evasion. Am I using Blur Cut? I am, and it's burst evasion. Plus by 14 plus with 8 seconds, and I'm already getting melee evasion. This is a nice just utility, so I'll keep it. Fending Blade restores 13 health and reduces the target's rage by 120. I'm keeping it because I'm using Fending Blade. And that's just nice utility. And the rage reduction is super nice for the other mods that we were looking at. Heart Piercer removes up to 82 more rage. Am I using Heart Piercer? I'm not. I don't have it yet. So we'll re-roll that one for now. I could probably go pick this ability up, but I'm feeling lazy today. Finishing Blow and Decapitate damage plus 80. So yeah, I'm using Finishing Blow as part of my rotation. We'll keep that. All sorted abilities. This is the mod that I'm kind of building towards a little bit. with less than 33% of their max rage. So I'm using a lot of rage control here. I'm definitely going to keep that one. Blur Cut. Yes, boosts burst evasion by 14%. We're keeping that. So with all of that, shoes are done. Legs. For 6 seconds after using Precision Pierce, your nice attacks do plus 24 damage. So that's going to be Finishing Blow. I'm actually going to move Finishing Blow and Precision Pierce around just so that visually on my bar I know to use these in succession. That should help me to remember that. Wind Strike. Okay, we're using that one. It causes the next attack to deal... Okay, your next attack to deal plus 44 damage. Since I seem to be gearing up towards Finishing Blow, I'm going to move Wind Strike over here too, since it's next attack, and I have 6 seconds on Precision Pierce. That's going to be my order there. So you can see also, as I'm adding my mods in, it's also informing my rotation. Because I'm looking at what's setting up to what, where am I going to get the most bang for my buck? And so I'm chaining these abilities together so that they're doing their maximum damage. Okay, Precision Pierce is good. Wind Strike's good. Opening Thrust heals you for 6 health. I like it. Because I'm going to be using this off cooldown anyway before knife abilities. So this is giving me some extra survivability. And then Poisoner's Cut is not something I'm using. So we'll reroll this one just until I get something I need. Fan of Blades, Hamstring Throw, Surprise Throw. I'm not using any thrown knife abilities right now. Gut damage. Am I using gut? I am. Plus 40. On this one too, I'm wondering if does that just apply to the piercing damage? Does it also apply to the trauma? So we will see. I'm going to leave that. All right. Surge Cut restores power. I like it. I don't like running out of power, and I often find myself without food because I don't plan well. So we'll leave that there. Gut deals more trauma damage if the target's not focused on you. For now, I'm going to leave it. Plus, an additional 120 trauma damage over 10 seconds is not something to sneeze at, especially in level 30 gear. So if I do decide to do a dungeon in this today, that will be a nice little addition. Okay, Surge Cut's restoring power. We've already got that. Sword Slash and Thrusting Blade restore 8 armor. I don't think I'm using those. And I'm feeling a little bit heavy on the defensive aspects of this build, so let's re-roll that and see what we can come up with. Sword damage, plus 20. We like a flat damage increase. I'll leave it. Heart Piercer removes more rage. Okay, am I using Heart Piercer? I don't think so. And it turns half of that into trauma damage. Now that's a fairly nice ability. I don't know where I get Heart Piercer from. Let me wiki that. Okay. Looking through my abilities. Sorry. Control F. Heart Piercer. Wait, is Heart Piercer... I'm stupid. That's a sword ability. Okay. But I also still don't have it, so let's look it up in sword. Okay, Heart Piercer. It's a level 20 ability. It's a stab that turns rage into trauma already. And its training is Malvol. Malvol is in Hogan's basement. Okay. So that might be worth looking into. I'm going to keep that there for now. Just so that... Yeah, I might end up swapping something in for that ability because that is very nice for kind of what we're building towards. Okay, gut deals more trauma damage. Great. That's what we want. Now, marking cut causes the target to take 10 plus 10 damage from trauma. All right, we've got that. And we want plus 10% from trauma attacks for 10 seconds. That's very nice. Fan of Blades I'm not using, so I'll re-roll it just until I find something useful. Slice has a chance to deal some extra slices, a sword ability, a knife ability. See, I'm not super familiar with sword either, so let's see if I've got it. Okay, yeah, it's a knife ability that does slashing and gives the bonus for off guard. I think we replaced it with something else. That's a fairly nice utility if you're building out for slashing, but I'm not. So we just continue on. Okay. So, stream management. You see. Okay. Sorry, looking at some. I think I accidentally closed my YouTube window. Fantastic. Oh, here we go. Okay, it's back open. I'm really bad. I'm not a streamer per se. So, greetings to, hey, Chris Underhill. Thanks good to be back. Nice to see you. Trying to do better about reading comments as I'm going through. So, okay, Venom Strike's not going to do me any good. I'm not using it. Backstab does direct damage to elite targets. I'm not using backstab either. Ooh, this is going to be a costly one. Okay, after opening thrust. Hey, that's a nice one. Okay, we'll keep that. And then I'm not using decapitate. Parry hitting all enemies is nice. I do love, and I think, let's see, riposte can be used for anything that combos that require parry. So I don't think that applies to mods where I'm using parry. Let me look for a second. Do I have parry here? It also has the rage reduction. Not as much. It does more damage. It also reduces the target's damage, which is nice, and it doesn't enrage the target. Just because I've got mods now that are working with this, I'm going to check. Do I have anything using riposte in what I've already rolled? No. So let's swap out parry for that just for now. I might go back to riposte later, but I've got a mod for that, so we're gonna use it. And I'm a sucker for a good AoE mod. So all sword abilities have a chance to restore health. Okay, better than nothing. Certainly better than decapitate, which I don't have on my bar. All right, head slot. I think we've already done surge cut, knife-based damage, hacking blade, parry, and riposte further reduce target's rage by 280. So that works out nice. All right, we will equip this gear. I can't do that yet because I still need a few levels in sword. Oof. Okay. No problem. I knew I should have crafted level 20 gear instead of level 30. I don't know what I was thinking. All right, I do have some other knives here that I can equip right now that were just in my inventory around somewhere. So I've got a basic sword. As I go through dungeons and stuff, I'll upgrade that when I get something better. We'll come back to Ice Snake. But I also have here this controller stiletto that was just in my inventory with a bunch of animal handling mods on it, I guess. But yeah, it does have the innate attributes of knife damage +8 and piercing +8. So just while I was, running around. Okay, I might have to trick it into giving me this. So change skill to animal handling. Change this one to, I don't know, ice magic. And then we'll equip this. And then we'll change everything back. So sword and knife. Yay. And it will lower the enchantments on it, but honestly, there's not a whole lot here. I mean, the only ones that are really applying to this build at all are that basic attacks restore 9 power. So that's fine. I'll equip my basic sword also. Oh no, that's a main hand knife. Okay, this is another problem with knife builds I just remembered. So knives can be main hand or offhand. There are different ones. So and part of that is you can dual wield knives. That is, in fact, the best way to do this with Ice Snake here. So the reason I pulled Ice Snake out is because, these stats are really nice. So plus 12% to knife damage, great. Plus 12% to ice magic, great. Plus 146 to direct cold, anything that does direct cold damage. And it changes all knife abilities that normally do slashing damage into cold damage. So this one knife enables the ability to use ice knife as a damage combination. So because this also counts as your wand. You notice in the flavor text at the bottom it says it has been augmented to allow the casting of ice magic. So you can wield this in the main hand to cast ice spells, and then you use an offhand knife to be able to do those double knife abilities those dual wield knife abilities that do slashing damage. So things like Duelist Slash. Yes, things like Duelist Slash that require dual wielded knives. So that is, yes, that's kind of how you build that out. The other build that I did know about that I was going to kind of take a look at today is the poison one. So we'll go back over here and look again at these knife abilities. These different mods that are available. So the poison synergies on knife are really nice, which makes knife a good choice for any kind of biped. Why am I talking to you? And also, no, I don't want to kill deer for you again. Okay. Yes. So this Poisoner's Cut boosts direct poison damage, an additional plus 23 per attack. Super nice. So that's all direct poison damage. So if you have another biped skill that's doing poison damage, so an example might be Druid. Okay, a knife Druid build I think would work fairly well. Let me look for a second. I've got some Druid pieces in here somewhere. That's for fire magic. This is okay. So we'll just look at. All right. Yeah, indirect poison damage plus 28% when Druid skill is active. That's one, and it's a good one. A lot of these are nature on this particular piece. Let's. Okay. Back to Druid Weather Witching for a second. Just so I can re-equip my gear. Nature. Okay, Delirium depletes rage and deals plus 180 poison damage over 6 seconds. So this is doing some indirect poison damage. Fill with Bile causes any nice attacks that deal direct poison or acid damage to deal plus 37. So that's going to synergize with a knife skill at some point down the road. Heartthorn deals poison damage and also deals 200 over 8 seconds. So there's some direct poison there as well. So you can see there's a lot of Toxin Ball deals plus poison damage to health over 8 seconds. There's a lot of poison synergy there in Druid. The one thing I wasn't sure about, though, let me see if I can find it on these lower level pieces, is... okay. Yes, okay, things like this. Fan of Blades deals plus 18 damage and causes the target to take plus 11% damage from poison for 30 seconds. So you're also debuffing target poison vulnerability. That's super handy too. So, knife can kind of go 3 different directions, it seems. It can go the direction of trauma, well, really 4. Trauma, slashing, poison, ice, and then one we've not really talked about is piercing. The only other things that I know of that do piercing damage that are biped skills, because you can't use knife as a non-biped, is like archery. And if there's more, you can comment about that. But I think it's just archery that does piercing, also does piercing damage. So you could do a knife archery build. That might be interesting, kind of using archery as your gap closing and then finish out with knife or something. I'm not sure how that would work. I've not looked at the mods. But as far as type synergies, those are really your options. And so I'm going back to Casino for a second to pick up my generic knife, my generic offhand knife, since I can't use any of my fancy knives with sword. But those are our knife options. Mostly, I think today my goal is to let's go to Kib and get this out. Multitasking, y'all. It's not easy. Okay. Let me put these back in here. I'm also, I don't know why I'm keeping this one boot that is for a build I don't use anymore, so we'll go throw that at somebody else. We'll kind of do a little exploration, see what we can come up with, try to level up sword just a little bit, and see if we can equip that gear and then see what that looks like. At some point you're gonna have to just hard test gear and mods and stuff like that. And so, especially early on, another piece of advice I like to give newer players is don't build towards group utility at a lower level. So like, I really discourage people building tank builds and heal builds at low levels. Like, if that's what you really want to do, and there's nothing else you want to do in the whole wide world except that, fantastic. But it's kind of like I was talking about with someone last night. Someone asked the question in the help channel about can you get by in this game without doing any crafting at all? And there's always that one person that's like, I haven't crafted the whole game and I'm level 95. And the best analogy I could come up with that I ended up posting there was, can I hop on one foot to the next town over? Like, sure. Is it going to be a really painful and uncomfortable experience as opposed to walking? Yes. So it's the same with things like that. Can you play a tank build at a lower level and make it in the game? Sure. It's going to be painfully slow and you're going to kind of hate life. And then invariably those people turn to global and start complaining about, I can't, do anything. I'm dying all the time. What's wrong with this game? All this kind of stuff. And it's like, well, you're playing as a tank. You're not doing any damage. You're basically, if you're built out as a tank, you're only doing threat. You're not doing damage. And so it's taking 19 years to kill everything. And it's just slowly chipping away at your health and your armor that you also don't quite have the skill yet to repair the way you need to. So, yeah, just don't do it. Pretty soon I'm going to start looking, I think, at, I may do a few streams dedicated to like how to get to that eventually, like how to plan for it in the lower levels so that you can do it in the upper levels. An example of that is like, um, so I have Ice Shield that I've leveled up to 70, and I did that by pairing each of those skills with something I already had at a higher level that didn't necessarily synergize, but I was wearing the gear for the stuff at the higher level abilities, which let me just use one ability to slam things down in those lower levels and grind them out really quickly. But one thing I've been more interested in lately is, can I pair a defensive ability with an offensive ability and really push those two together? And so I know a lot of people do that with Fire Shield, but fire is just so expensive. One thing I've been working on lately, and I even have gear for somewhere here, yes, is unarmed staff. And so just kind of focusing on one-handed and one-legged unarmed abilities, and paired with staff, they have like similar damage types. And so if you're building towards like crushing damage thing, that's real nice. There's also a lot of AoE potential there. So I'm really interested to see how that turns out. I'll keep you posted, but right now it's just been a lot of fun to play. And it's pretty tanky. I mean, it's defensive. There's a lot of utility built into staff that helps with damage mitigation and stuff. So that's been a lot of fun. All right. My level is kind of at the place where, let me switch back to, okay. We're going with sword. Can't read. Okay. And knife. Since I don't have any gear right now, I'm just going to keep... I've got my... the current set that I have equipped is for Druid Weather Witching, but it's giving me armor. And I don't have pieces right now. I suppose I could go craft a level 20 set real fast, but do y'all really want to sit around and watch me craft level 20 gear? And reroll mods 1,000 times. So let's do something active. This gear will keep me going at least until I can get those couple more levels that I need in sword. You know, I could be killing these things on the way, too. Alright, we got a little bit of lag, it looks like. That's okay. Yeah, you can see my not great difference here. But 10 levels should go fairly quickly. These things are dying pretty quick. Hey, there's a level 15 sword. That's better than the level 10 one I have right now. Oh, and this one's got mods on it. Okay. We'll equip this one and drop this poopy. Yeah, power regen. Riposte deals armor damage. Oh, restores armor damage. And then direct slashing, direct piercing. Nice. See how many cuts is doing. We'll collect jewelry too, because I don't have jewelry crafting yet. And even if I did that, it would feel expensive and wasteful to craft level 30 jewelry. So... am I using any kind of rotation right now? Absolutely not. I'm just killing things. And yeah, we're getting some levels pretty quick here. Can't pass up all this strange dirt, because gardening is horrible. There's level 21 in sword. Uh-oh. Little trick for dealing with these guys. Duck behind something they can't see you. Which apparently is not that. Let's try again. Yeah. They run away if you try to chase them, so make them come to you. Is that an offhand knife that's level 20? Don't mind if I do. They've got the same stats. Okay, well, also, I don't need a moldy old hat with no stats on it. Into the crypts we go. Feel free as we're going, if you're watching and you have questions about builds or anything like that, I'm happy to answer. Just put those in the comments and would love to chat with you guys. You know, I don't know if... Well, we'll try it. What's the worst that could happen? Okay, not as bad as I thought it would be. I mean, I am in level 70 armor, so it's not like he's going to insta-kill me or anything. Yay, some things. I don't want plus taunt from attack damage. Let's use a heal real quick before I die from poison damage. Also, do I have food? I think I've just got snacks. That'll be fine. Okay. We'll do a little spider murder. Some other builds I'm working on right now, if you guys are possibly interested. I did just start working on Lycan Vampire. I'm real interested in the bite synergies that come from Embrace of Despair, I think it is, the teleport. Even though it's a psychic ability, it has a mod that you can get where all bite attacks, anything that has bite in the name, deal increased damage. And so that's a lot of Lycan abilities, since you know, have teeth and things. So I'll be interested to see how that works out. Also working on, like I said, Firefox right now. That's been a lot of fun. Just got Magma Spheres on that character, so been doing a lot of playing on that one. But Fire Magic is also expensive, so I'm taking a break from the money farm to work on this one. Druid Weather Witching has been something I've been playing a lot on Mistake these days, but I'm at honestly, I'm at like the 70 cap for like 6 or 7 different combat skills on Mistake right now, and I can't bring myself to do the money farm on 2 characters. So why progress towards endgame when you could just roll up a new build and try something interesting? I would say I'm impressed by the damage this is doing, which I am. It's nice damage, but I'm over leveled a little bit for here, so it's not like crazy impressive. It'll be interesting to see when I get down some of the stranger hallways. Okay, all things I've got, but want that chest. Let's go grab that very quickly. I think this is also the hallway that goes down towards like Nameless Guardian and stuff. I always get confused about which side goes to where in this dungeon. I should know better by now. Like, I've been playing the game for years, but just can't be bothered to make myself remember that one. Ooh, that's a good question. Farming money. It's going to be different for everybody, and I'll be 100% honest with you. I don't like telling people how I farm money because at least market ways to farm money. So what I mean by that is like, where do I go and kill things to farm things to sell? I don't like giving that away because if I noticed this happen with another content creator for PG where they were like, here's how to made a video about here's how to farm money really fast. And they gave a very specific method for farming money at lower levels. And it like flooded the market with the things they were trying to sell and dropped the price of everything. So it stopped becoming a thing that was good for farming money again. In a game this small, little things like that can really affect the economy. So all that to say, there are certainly the first thing I would do is find, if you're trying to sell, like go earn money through the player economy, is just find things that people need and find out where to farm them, especially if they're grindy things, because part of the reason they're probably going to cost a lot is because they're either rare drops or they're a pain in the butt to farm. So if somebody's just trying to do something really quick, and they're not wanting to spend 20 minutes farming something, you can make bank just, farming those materials. And then too, when you need those things, you can have a stockpile of them ready to go. The one thing I'll give this part away, I guess, but surveying. You can make a lot of money from surveying, and fewer people are doing it these days. If you're on Arasetsu, you've got people like some of my guildies. Alashana used to be one of them, but I don't know that he's playing as much. Sagat is another. But they have been maintaining gem stalls for years. And even before the changes to the player stalls in Serbule, they held stalls in the same spot. Alashana was in A2 since I started playing the game, and would be long past if they hadn't changed the way those things were priced. But Alashana and Sagat were both in that A section. I somehow managed to land an A stall, and I started selling the same things they were selling, and I was making money still off of it. I undercut them by like 10 councils per gym, I think, and was making bank. So, yeah, it's not. But on the newer servers, and even on the main server now, Sagat is still selling gems, but they're going fast, and he's the only person doing it these days. So when he runs out, that gem's just not available in casino anymore. So it can be kind of boring for some people. I don't think of it as boring. It's kind of more meditative for me. Like, use PG Surveyor, craft 120 surveys, clear out your inventory, and then just go surveying. Honestly, that's and then just you can sell everything you make. On top of that, it's fairly easy to make more. I think I've gotten myself into a situation I can't handle. Yep. Talking and playing, not easy. But yeah, all that to say, surveying. Surveying is pretty good. The other way is just dailies. So this is where, if you've got a guild, this is really great. Find some people close to your level and do the dailies. That includes the AM, the Q daily, but also the Fey Realm dailies. That also gets you those royal jellies that you need to do 70 unlocks and stuff if you need to do those for other skills. Or sell royal jellies, because they're also another item that people don't like to farm, and they can get a little expensive. So That would be my big. Those are the two ways I make money. It does get a little grindy. I do have to save. Oh, egg runs is the other thing. Probably for you right now. If you're still gearing and like planning for gear at 80, if you're not doing egg runs at all, first of all, you should be doing them because that's how you get your 90 gear. I mean, it's the easiest way. But yeah, do the egg runs if they've got them on your server. They each piece that drops from an egg run sells for somewhere around 1,200, depending on the NPC, depending on their favor and all that kind of stuff. But I get about 1,200 per piece from Kib and Casino for each of my pieces of gear that drop from there. The books also are worth a lot, and so if you're not using the books that drop from there from doing the little egg quests or whatever, sell those to Cheb in at the start of the egg run cave, and I think those go for about 1,000 a pop. So yeah, egg runs. Yesterday we did a triple egg run day on Arasetsu, and I think I only did 2 of the 3 egg runs, and between them, I think I made like 100, close to 100,000 between 2 egg runs. So yeah, they're really useful. And then you get the added benefit too of getting letters of authority, which are used to open the trainer gates in Nightmare Cave. Also very nice. A lot of good materials drop, like Dwarven. Oh man, I didn't mean to enter the light. Oh well. But yeah, egg runs also a good source of money. But I think with 3, if I do like 3 egg runs in a week, I've definitely cleared out all of Kib's money. By 4 and 5, I've gotten all of Joey's money and all of Hogan's money too. So let's just use the unstable portal. This is probably a bad idea, but I do have Recall Circle improvised that'll take me back to Casino if I need to. So why not just have a little adventure? Hey, this is actually probably closer to my levels anyway. Inside the mushroom cave. Oh, the second thing I would say about money is just, you know, you got to control income and outflow. So some skills are just going to require a ton more money. Battle chemistry is one of those. If you're, if you're using battle chemistry, you're just going to be spending money as fast as you can make it until you get to a point. Fire magic, any of the recipe magic skills are another one that's just going to cost you a ton of money. So good luck with that. Okay, farming materials people need that suck, like tentacler tentacles, yes, could be good. Otherwise, it sounds like I need to get my favor up. Yep, that's also true. Getting favor up is really the thing that sucks about getting favor up is it always consumes valuable materials too. So the nice thing, Kib and Casino is not bad because he just takes main hand weapons. So you go through your egg run or whatever, you come back, you gift all of the main hand weapons that you get from that run to him. If you do that 5 or 6 times, you've got him at max favor, depending on the luck of your drops or whatever. But yeah, that's what I would say there. You really just, favor is just something you kind of have to just concentrate on and just decide, like, when you go into the game, okay, today I'm working on favor, and then everything you do goes towards that. And it does suck for a little bit, but this is also part of the reason that we advise Like, I try to advise new players that favor is something you focus on early and you don't neglect, because it affects so many things. It affects storage. It affects, yeah, the number of councils that are available from vendors, how much they're willing to pay for each item. It's pretty important. But yeah, so I guess my only advice on that is embrace the suck, because it's going to suck for a while. I think am I having lag or what's going on here? Okay. Let's see if I can die from poison damage. I also keep forgetting that I have a damaging ability that heals me that I should be using probably a little bit more. Okay. Yeah, this is working out pretty well. Because Professor Cat's already said it, I'll show you his method for farming money at low levels, at least. It actually happens in this cave. So there is something that drops from here from the Myconians. I don't know if I have. Let me see. Do I have any in my inventory right now? No, I think that's my other character that I have them there. So they drop something called heart shrooms. Heart shrooms are, if you're at level 80 especially, you just come in here and unless you're doing psychic damage or something like that, because everything in here is resistant to psychic damage, it seems like, and especially the Myconians. But otherwise, you can kind of just come in here and clean house. Ooh, not me, though. I'm a baby, and I forgot. Okay. The other nice thing is everything in here is slow, so if you do get into a pickle, you can just run away from it. Except these stupid garden tenders. We love a good combat refresh coming up at the perfect time. I'm going to swap to another build for just a second. Ooh, let me save this one, though. Okay. Just so that I can go in here and smash everything real fast. Let's, yeah, let's just do Druid Weather Witching. Okay. And I'll show you what I mean about heart shrooms here. Let that sandstorm handle these guys. All right. So Myconians drop heart shrooms. Heart shrooms can be traded in to a character in Sunvale for diamonds. And then diamonds, you know, go for about 400 councils a pop. So that is a useful. This is a useful farm. It's also just a nice way to get diamonds for fairly cheap, because they don't drop a ton. Like, they're not a super common drop in surveying. But yeah, getting a diamond out of each one of those, that gives you your diamonds for reses and stuff too. And people are always looking to buy diamonds because, again, they're a consumable resource that's kind of a pain in the butt to get. And so they're willing to just pay the 400 for them rather than, have to deal with farming them somehow. So that was Professor Cat's method. And today it doesn't look like there's many people, at least here on Arasetsu, there's not many people in the dungeon looking for them. So that is an option. Let me go bury these corpses before somebody gets mad at me. All right, we've gotten a couple levels in knife since, in both knife and sword since we've been in here, so that's good. I don't want parasol mushrooms. This is another build that needs a big overhaul. I started using this for nature synergy, and it's tough for solo play because of the long cast times on things like tsunami and deluge. Like basically all of my weather witching abilities that do nature damage are long channels. But I built this before I knew about Brambleskin builds, and I think that this would be a really awesome, use the mod that causes any of your AoE abilities to do nature damage and attach that to all of these different ones. Build this out more for AoE and then use all the Brambleskin mods. I think this could be a really fun build again. It's a little slow for solo play right now. Oh, and I do have the mod. I don't know if I said this already. I do have the mod that keeps my channels from being interrupted for weather witching, so that's also a plus. Okay, back to sword knife. All right. But money is also... Oh, nice. Yeah, so what are those builds? I would recommend... Professor Cat actually has a really good build on that. Shout out to him. So I would go check out his channel. But essentially, you build it so that Brambleskin, like you put a lot of boosts into Brambleskin, and then you use the mods for that. There's a mod in Druid that says that all your area of effect abilities do damage over time, and so you put that one on there too. It basically, what it does is it makes it to where Druid can be paired with a lot of different things that have a lot of AoE abilities, and it does some really, really sweet damage. So things like Druid battle chemistry is really nice. I played Druid Staff for a while because Staff has a lot of good AoEs, and Staff's got all those defensive things too. I've done Druid Cow, and then you just build towards all of that burst damage, all that AoE damage, plus the stuff that Brambleskin does, and it's an amazing solo build because everything comes and attacks you, and then you just it kills itself on your Brambleskins while you AoE it down and chip away at its health. But yeah, go watch Professor Cat's video. He does a lot better job explaining it than I do. Okay, leveling's going pretty fast, it seems. Well, I say that as I'm about to die because I did a stupid and pulled too much at once. It's another problem of like being at a high level and then going back to play super low level builds is you forget that you're not that person anymore. Another one I'm excited to revisit. So when I built Mistake for the first time, my goal was to do battle chemistry and fire, just because there's a BC mod that causes your all of your AoE attacks to do fire damage. I thought that would be a very fun build. At the time, it was not. It was pretty lackluster. There's a lot of cool utility with battle chemistry that's just nice to have in a party. And then I still would use that build for things like Winter Nexus and stuff, because you got to light trolls on fire and things, and having all that fire damage over time strapped to all of your AoE abilities is really nice. But with the improvements to firewalls that came out with some of the recent changes to fire magic in State Helm, I really want to revisit that build again too. I think it could be really a lot of fun because your firewalls tank for you. They also like you all of your AoE heals and stuff apply to your firewalls as well. So I think that could be another really, really nice one. I'm a little surprised with this build, with this knife sword build, that so many of my abilities are almost one hits. And the cooldowns are fairly short on them, so. But it is, the AoE stuff is not superb, so it is very much a single target build, it seems. I have a bunch of stuff that I don't need here. Okay, Myconians are a little tough at this level, but they're slow. I'm going to try body pulling these one at a time. He was also very happy to just stay in that spot, so. Yeah, not horrible one-on-one, but I don't think I'd want that entire mob after me. Of course, I could just run away from them because they are slow as molasses. Okay, some nice things. Even some of the blue gear I'm gonna kind of loot just because I do have augmentation, so I can pull mods off of gear if I need to try add them to other pieces later. Okay, 23 in sword. Okay. You know, you guys might have gotten a better show if you just watched, if I just crafted 20 gear, I think. Leveling is going a bit slow. In fact, we can go try that real quick. Let me just recall beginnings. We'll head back into Serb. If you're just joining us, welcome. We are testing out some different knife configurations today. Actually, we might end up just testing out one. Building towards a knife sword trauma build. And yeah, thanks for joining. I did craft gear for this build right before I started the video, but for whatever reason I crafted level 30 gear and my sword skill is only level 22. So we're going back to Serb now to craft a set of gear I can actually use. I do think the reason, okay, I remember the reason now why I went with 30 gear, and I think it's because the mod choices, like the choices for the number of mods you can have access to at lower levels is smaller. The pool is smaller than for the larger ones. I think I was thinking that, so I wanted to be able to show that at the beginning, that yeah, those mods, what's available and things like that. And there are still some I'm sure that are missing because they're not, you know, a higher level. Okay, what do I have in the inventory? What do I need? I should have enough gems, but I need to look at my leatherworking. Okay, here's the level 20 stuff. Yeah, we should be good with what I have. Yeah, we should be good with what I've got. Hey, and I might actually get some... Am I capped on leatherworking right now? I might be. Alright. Let me get rid of some of this gear in my inventory, clear some things up, and then we'll get to crafting. I'm going to hang on to some of this jewelry just because I don't have any level 20 jewelry right now, and I don't have jewelry crafting, so... Okay, I think that's the better one for what I've got. Okay. Alright, hopefully that I'll get good pulls on this from the get-go and we won't have to sit here all day and watch me craft gear. Okay, we got another question in the comments, looks like. Do you recommend Sandstorm over normal tornadoes for weather witching? Yeah, the knockback is the reason I don't use the other ones. Also, I think they both do nature damage. So if you're doing anything that is debuffing a target's nature resistance, they'll both work the same way for that. But that is the primary reason I use Sandstorms, is because the knockback is annoying. I don't know if there's a... Let me look, because now I'm curious. Weather bitching. I don't think... Okay, it doesn't tell me how much nature damage it deals as its base. But yeah, if you're buffing it anyway, I don't think it's a huge deal. I do have Doomstorms here, but I don't even have a Darkness build on this character, so I don't know why I've got why I even unlocked Doomstorm. But I do have it. Okay, let's get this stuff crafted real fast. Evasion leggings. We'll go knife primary. Please give a purple. Yay. Evasion boots. Please give a purple. Nope. Try again. Okay. I'm not going to waste a ton of materials on this. Let's see if there's any good mods we can pull out of here. Okay, there's a backstab mod that does 200 if target's not focused, marking cut damage, Flashing strike and hacking blade damage. Do I have the things to do this? Let's see. Nope. Okay, well, turn it into flog then. I mean, I guess I could turn them into contraptions and see if I can. Okay, gut does trauma. Maybe that's the one I'll aim for. Hacking blade does trauma, but it looks like 80 over or plus 48 over 6 or 80 over 10. I'll go with more total damage. Feel free as we're going through this to, if you have any other build questions or anything you're curious about, if I know an answer, I'll give you one, and if I don't, I can probably point you to someone who does. Wait, what am I doing? Extract a power. And we'll use a knife crystal there. Oh, I'm one short. God, okay. You know what? I think it's the same tier if I decompose these. I can always make new ones. It is, yay, okay. We'll extract power from these real quick, and then yeah. Oh, well, not the one I wanted. What a waste of materials. Okay, back to crafting. I'll just craft one more of those and hope it turns. Otherwise, I'm gonna be SOL. Okay, that's fine. Moving on. Crude evasion shirt. Okay. Let's go sword primary on this one. No real logic behind why I do primaries, which ones I do primaries or secondaries on at low levels. I'm just try to keep them fairly even. Apparently I used up all my good crafting luck earlier in the day getting nonsense, so. No, I don't want to waste gems on things I'm not going to use right now, so let's. Speaking of, I need more obsidian. I think there's a vendor I use back here sometimes. Let's see if I can find him again. Is it D18? Yeah. Hey, 90 councils for a gym is really good. So whoever set up this stall, thank you. But also charge more. You can make a lot more money. Okay, let's get... I don't think I'm going to be able to find any more carnelians here, so we're just going to have to go with whatever. Which is whatever's better than nothing. Well, I'll check for carnelians. I'm already here. May as well. Hey, there is someone selling carnelians. But are they going to be 4 million councils apiece? Let's see. Not bad at all. Okay. So... let's see, I've got 4. Let's add 26 to that. And... oh, not outside. And we'll add 26 more obsidians too. I'm I'm also out of food. I know I've got snacks, and they were doing okay for me, but let's see if... I don't feel like crafting anything right now. So let's buy food from the garbage. Cabbage soup, baked beets. Baked beets are fine. There are pros and cons to running content like this in higher level gear, and one of them is that my combat refresh is fairly high right now, and compared to what I'm using. So that's nice because I don't ever have to worry about power, but it also gives me a false sense of the power requirements for things, and so I don't like doing that too much. So I like to have my gear pretty close. Also, if you use, let's say you're using 2 skills and you're using one higher level skill to power level a lower level one, that can also be real frustrating because as you'll get to a point where you, like your gear, if you decide to swap your gear around to something that fits your secondary skill, the power cost of your higher level abilities doesn't keep up with the combat refresh for your lower level ones. So I'm running into that right now on my Spirit Fox because I have Spirit Fox at 90 something, and I have Fire Magic at 68, and so I cannot keep up with power cost on things. Because my gear is right now is level 55, I think. It's not pretty. So, I'm working dig deep into my rotation to try to keep my power cost up. And then just struggling sometimes. Okay, we have our shirt, our boots, our pants for this build. Let's go to gloves and then helmet. I'll also try those boots a few more times since I've got enough gems now. Ooh. Inventory. And I can't put augments on yet. I don't have that augmentation skill. Install augments. Well, I don't know that I actually want to put that on there right now because I'm about to redo those shoes. Okay, so let's just distill some things. I also really need to offload some things I'm not using right now. Oh, well, that's not good. Inventory, the real end game, right? What do I not need right now? I can always buy more of those. Anti-magic sand, Zogrite chunks. We gotta keep all that. I don't need to keep bat dung in my inventory that I know of. I can get more of that. Okay, we've got all those things which I actually do need. I don't really need lac right now. Well, apparently I had a quest for it actually, so but oh well. Okay, let's dump some stuff. Yeah, so let me just change the name of the stream real quick to Inventory Management Hell, because that appears to be where we've landed. Okay. All that's out of the way. I've got some contraptions there, which I'm going to drop because I'm not going to extract anything else that I'm from boots that I'm aware of. Okay. Back to leatherworking. How am I doing on other mats right now? Ooh, a little low on leather strips. Let's go back to tanning. Probably the most expensive use of rough leather that I have, but that's all right. All right, back to leatherworking. Okay, we're going to try boots again. Please, if you have questions about builds, about gear, hey, first time, very nice. About playing Project Gorgon, feel free to ask in the comments. Happy to answer questions and give you guys something useful while I'm just sitting here trying to craft gear that I should have crafted earlier. We're getting some pretty good luck on these now. I think the game can sense when I'm running low on certain resources, and so it returns terrible things to me. So that I'll have to go. Sorry. Yeah, I think it just gives me terrible results so that I'll have to run off and buy something else. It's all a conspiracy. Don't let anyone tell you anything different. Okay. Please, a helmet. Okay, but a good one now. I've been wondering if there's a belt that you can get that improves the chance that if you loot an item, it'll be one tier higher than like what it would have been otherwise. I've been curious to see if that would work with crafting. I highly doubt it, but wouldn't that be nice? Finally. All right. Okay, it looks like we're all good there. Let's go re-roll some nonsense here. All right, legs. Am I using precision pierce? I am. Nice attack damage. Wind strike deals 44 and cause your next attack to deal 44. Oh, I'm looking at the pants I've already rolled like a dummy. All right. Backstab deals 200 trauma if the target's not focused on you. We're building more for solo right now. That would be a wonderful one if I was in group content, but that one will work. Okay, that's good. Hacking blade generates no rage. That's good. Opening thrust heals you for 4, and surge cut restores 11 power. That's fine for level 20 gear. Parry and riposte damage. That's good. Flashing strike, hacking blade damage. Okay, surprise throw. I'm not using any throw knife abilities right now, so we won't use that. I don't want to do poison damage. Marking cut causes target to take trauma damage. That's good. I'm not using throws. We'll re-roll that one. Gut deals some more damage. Direct damage, and the timer's minus 1 second. The timer minus 1 second one is pretty big. We'll keep that there. Boots, fan of blades I'm not using. I'm not using throws. Fending blade. Restores health and reduces rage. Okay, I'm using that, so we'll keep that there. I'm not using Poisoner's Cut. Slice damage. I'm not using Slice. Blur Cut. Boosts Burst Evasion. I like it. Fending Blade. Wind Strike deals plus 31. That's good. Okay. Gloves. After using Opening Thrust, all knife abilities good. All sword deal. That's a good one. Riposte damage. That's good. And I can change back to riposte now because I've got something that's actually affecting it. So. Surprise throw. I'm not using throws. I'm not using Duelist Slash because I'm not dual building knives. Hamstring throw I'm not using. I'm not using backstab. But I will probably use backstab on a solo build. This one is determined to just give me AoE abilities and things that I don't use. Okay, this is the last roll I do on this one. Yeah, I can't do any more on that. It is just wasting flog. So we'll just have one mod that isn't doing much for us. That's okay. Precision Pierce, that's good. Mini Cuts, that's good. Blur Cut, that's good. Surprise Throw, I'll try to re-roll it. Knife base damage, all about it, especially at lower levels. This one's fine because we're still using Riposte. Heart Piercer we're not using that I'm aware of. So Opening Thrust, that's good. Signature debuffs also deal damage. I think I've got a signature debuff in here somewhere. I don't. Okay. Let's see what we can get from that one. Sure. Let's reroll this one. Oh, we're not doing a decap build, so that's not helping us out much. Debilitating Blow. Finishing Blow. I'm not using Debilitating Blow. But maybe I should. I don't know what I would give up if I used Debilitating Blow instead. I also don't know if I have Debilitating Blow, to be honest. I do have it, okay. Causes core attacks to deal... Am I using any core attacks right now? I'm not. So, yeah, we'll reroll that one. Wind Strike. Gives accuracy and deals plus 14% damage. That's good. Opening Thrust, that's fine. Okay. Back to... I need to do this ring real quick. That's fine. That's fine. Electricity reduction is fine. Okay. So let's equip all of these. I will apply this boot augment just to get it out of my... I don't think I already have that one. I do. Wonderful. Okay, let's just try to re-roll that one real quick. To literally anything else. Well, not anything else, but something useful. There we go. Okay. Now we can go apply that mod real quick. Install augment. this one on this piece. Proceed. Okay. And I don't think my blacksmithing is... Well, I think you have to have bladesmithing to craft knives. So yeah, I don't have the stuff to do that anyway. Handsome. Or something. Very special. Okay. Well, we're not winning any beauty contests, but at least now this will let us kind of get a feel for this build and see if it's going to do what we think it does. You know what I completely forgot to do is advertise this in the PG Discord and the streams. So let me see if I can't figure that out. Oh yeah, I'm stupid. Good thing there's a big mushroom right here. Okay. Give me just a second. I need to advertise my streams when I do them. Okay. Yay, advertised. Okay. In we go to try to kill some more mushroomy things. Hopefully get our sword level up a little bit, but also just test this build out. So already massive improvements, it seems. Let's see. This one gives me some evasion, so maybe I should open with that. And then I've got this one, which boosts all of my abilities. Yeah. For 10 seconds, all knife abilities gain +4 accuracy and have a chance to deal 25% damage. So I probably should develop some sort of rotation here, but let's see what we can come up with after I kill everything that keeps walking up on me. All right. So I know I've already kind of got this one laid out here. Okay, so I know the Precision Pierce, Wind Strike, Finishing Blow combo is nice. So we'll keep that in place. I like to keep my AoEs over to one side so that they're kind of grouped together. I don't think I have any other AoEs besides mini cuts. All right, we're boosting nice attack damage there. Plus 10% direct damage if they have 33% of their max rage. So this is nice to use pretty early. Same thing here. Indirect trauma damage. So let's maybe move. Actually, I like that there because we're stacking trauma as we go up. That's not too bad. I'm actually going to move Hacking Blade, I think, over here. Okay. Riposte diminishes rage, so we'll just keep that as a rage control ability. It's fine right there. This one needs to be used pretty early because it's increasing their trauma vulnerability. So we'll keep that in its spot. This is a rage reducer. I'm going to move my rage reducers, I think, also. Well, not right now. Picked probably the worst place to try to do anything because these guys are just going to keep walking up on me. All right. Yeah, we're going to group that over there. Okay, I like that a little bit better. Keep all of my primarily rage reducing abilities on one side. This also increases targets or reduces targets evasion, increases their trauma vulnerability. So we're going to keep that where it's at. Just watch the bodies stack up around me while I try to rearrange my abilities. Okay, Fending Blade is going to be more utility based, I think, because it's just rage reducing and stuff too. Okay. I'm going to move this back to the beginning. That's giving trauma. That's boosting evasion and things. This is boosting rage reducing and stuff. This is also mostly a heal and a power regen and things. Okay. I think we've got our setup. Okay. So I'm thinking open here. Reduce rage. Indirect trauma damage. +4 per tick for 30 seconds goes next. Then boost knife attacks, reduce their trauma attack vulnerability, and then lay on the trauma pretty thick. Yes, including mini cuts. I forget that mini cuts also now has that trauma damage over time. Okay. So we go here, 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 there, there. Okay, it was doing fine until I just ran in level 20 armor into the middle of a room full of Myconians and didn't run away. So that does seem like the way, though. I do think I'll wait until I get all my trauma vulnerability up before I use mini cuts. So it might go... I lose time on with global cooldown on the rest of my knife abilities that get boosted by opening thrust. But opening thrust has a short cooldown, so it's not like I'm spending days on that. Let's see. I wonder, does the subsequent knife abilities stack or gain +4 accuracy for 10 seconds? I wonder if that stacks. Let's see. It does. Nice. So I should be using that off cooldown is what I'm thinking, which is like every other ability. That might be a little bit too much, but what's the maximum that it stacks? That's the question. It doesn't appear to have a flat maximum, but it's going to have a maximum just by virtue of the fact that it's only 10 seconds long. So one tick will disappear as you're applying another one. And each one of these is... Wait, was I looking at the wrong thing? Okay. So it looks like it's consumed once I use an ability, which means I should only be using it before knife attacks. So I go through my sword opener, and then here, there, I'll apply that, here, there, I'll get this going again, there, here, to that one to this one. Okay, so we've got somewhat of a rotation sort of figured out. May as well gather heart shrooms while I'm in here, right? Okay, I also need to be looking at sword abilities that add trauma damage over time. So, Hacking Blade. Okay, so really, I need to be putting Riposte before Hacking Blade. Because this is giving me that indirect trauma damage per tick, and then this is applying my first set of trauma damage. I can go straight in the mini cuts after that and get its indirect trauma applied, and then I go into my knife back and forth. So okay. So it looks like this knife sword trauma build is going to work okay. I'm fighting at level basically at level. I'm a little over leveled in knife, but basically at level in level appropriate gear. I don't think I've got any pieces on that are, I mean, apart from the belt that's giving me, oh, it is giving me an increased chance of finding, 2% of the time when you would have found non-magical equipment as loot, you'll get blue instead. Wow, thank you. Not really doing a lot for me there, but, and then the earrings I think are just, yeah, glowy resistance. So all of my gear that I have on is at level or under level for this area, and we're holding our own and killing things before they can kill us. So in my book, that's a viable build. So trauma looks like it does work nicely. That is good to know. And it'll get better as I level it and things too. I did want to try before we got off, so maybe we go back to the beginning and you guys get to watch me craft some gear again or something. Yay. Just what you wanted. Okay. Recall beginnings. We'll try out some poison things and see how that works out too. So same system. I'm just gonna craft some level 20 gear. We'll keep. I think the advantage of, or the difference, I mean, with poison in this biped build, I think I'm gonna have to use either archery. It doesn't have a ton of poison synergies, but does have some, or animal handling could work with poison bee. I'm kind of leaning away from that because if we're just talking beginner builds here, I don't know that. Yeah, I mean, poison bees aren't like the most accessible thing in the world. They're not horrible, but they are a bit expensive and things like that. So let's instead just stick with druid, I think. Druid's a little tougher, and it's not necessarily beginner friendly either because it's a level 50 build. You have to have a level 50 in something to be able to unlock druid. So, but let's say you ground knife sword up to 50 and decided you wanted an alternative. Druid would be a good one. I just don't know that there are a lot of other beginner friendly skills. Archery would be the only other one I could think of, but archery is also annoying and I hate it, so I'm not going to do it. You can't make me. Do I have carpentry high enough to craft a staff? I think so. Shoddy priest staff. Oh, Chompy tipped me. Hi, Chompy. Thank you. And shout out to Chompy, who's just a generally good guy. Okay. What were we doing? Staves. Rough priest staff is level 10. Crude priest staff is level 20. That will work. It's not really giving me some great things there, but staff damage, fire damage, priest damage. Well, yeah, it's not helping me out a ton, but okay. I just need, let's grab like 20 of those. I don't have room in my inventory for 20 of those. Me having inventory management problems? Surely not. Okay. Now we'll get out 20 of those. I think I've got 20. Oh, not that much. That's... okay. And then I need advanced caustic ink. Do I have that? I can purchase from Sir Arif or purchase from the Wombat. I don't want to go to Kyrlex Crypt. What if instead I craft it? I think I can do that. I can do that. Okay. Wait. This is always the problem. How much did that recipe call for? 2 per. I'm doing 10 runs apparently. So that's 20 total. Each recipe gives me 5, so I need 4 times this recipe, so I need 8 fish skins. I don't have any. Okay, where are they? Mandibles in the casino. So this is life. This is life in Project Gorgon. If you've never played Project Gorgon, this is what it is. You're like, I just need this one thing. And then you go down a rabbit hole of 40 things later before you can do that one thing. And we love it. We sure do. Okay, I need advanced inks. I need 20 in total. So 20. I don't have room in my inventory. Oh, because they stack in horrible combinations. All right, I'm getting This is irritating. What even are these things, and do I need them? I don't think I do. Dropping them. That's future mistake problems. Okay, I've got what else do I have here? That fletchings, arrows. I haven't run a freaking archery animal handling build in a long time. Why do I have those in my inventory? Okay, can I buy them now? Yay, and my inventory is full again. Okay. I also just need to get rid of some things. I have a lot of things that shouldn't be here that are here. No, I don't want to take anything out of this storage. Okay, like that. I don't need that in my inventory. Or, okay. Some of these things I do need. Let's drop this in one and this in the other. Okay, because I also don't need to craft any Spirit Fox gear right now. All right, back to the casino to pick up the fish skins. All this to craft 10 level 20 pre-staffs. So exciting times, people. And if you're just joining us, feel free if you've got questions as we're doing the boring stuff here about builds, about Project Gorgon in general. If you've got questions, I can try to answer them. If I don't have an answer, I can point you to someone who does. Okay. I do think, were they on Catic? No. Storage. Not Catic. Ragabeer. I could just search for them instead of scale. Basic fish scale is on mandibles. Okay. So now I can craft the advanced caustic ink, which does stack much better. I don't understand why inks only stack in 5s. That is very irritating. We'll put those back on mandibles. All right. Now we should be able, let's see, what else do we need for this staff? Okay, decent tannin powder, ancient stencils. Of course I don't have any ancient stencils. Will Ragabeer have some in his buy used? Or will it be another giant waste of time to try to craft a staff? He does have heart shrooms for very cheap. No ancient stencils. Okay, so we just farmed all those mats to craft a staff. And I don't even need them. Okay, well, we're going to put those in my transfer chest because, as we like to say around here, that's a future mistake problem. I suppose I could have bought ancient stencils. Oh, I can buy ancient stencils. Okay. So we'll get those back. I guess I could also just ask chat, if you're in Arasetsu and you have ancient stencils and you want to donate to the cause, please pigeon me some. Or find me in the casino. Hey, some people have them. Next question, are they 4 million councils apiece? Okay, CS 6. Maybe I should rename the stream "Putting People on Blast Who Overcharge for Things That Are Really Basic." Okay, he has 1. Oh, that's a lot of councils for something so silly. But I do get it. Ancient stencils only drop from things upstairs. What? They only drop from mobs, so... And when you need them, they aren't around, so... I can't fault people for... Okay, well, I guess we're only crafting... No, I only want to do 4. We're not going to craft a ton of staffs. So whatever we end up with on 5 attempts is what we get. All right, decent tannin powder I can get from... Who sells that in here? Is that... I think that's the Tavalak, the gardening guy. Yeah, and I just need decent... Yeah. And I only need 5 of them. Yeah. Okay. Now for crystals. Oh, wiki gems. The knife one is on obsidian, which I have. The druid one is garnet. Okay. And I think I've got garnets lying around somewhere. Let's see. Nope. Back to the casino vendors. Let's see what we can come up with here. God, if I post this stream to YouTube for people to watch later, I will definitely need to add timestamps so they can skip around. What am I doing? Oh yeah, looking for garnets. 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 Serbial Keep. Of course. The place where I'm not has the things that I need. Okay. The slow walking is killing me. I've been playing Spirit Fox on one tune or Druid on the other, and so I have at least some speedy walking abilities for inside of Casino, but alas, no speed ups on this build yet that I know of. Okay, let's get rid of that and that. Ugh. The darkness, and I was on a horse before I went up the weird rock. Okay, very soon we'll have this poison build ready. All right. Oh, off we go. To find some garnets. I'll have to be sure also because the game will allow you to use abilities up to 20 levels higher than, like, there's a 20 level difference between the two combat skills that you have equipped. But I don't necessarily want that because of the power demands of my druids at level 70. The power demands of druid at level 40 are going to be a lot different from the ones at level 20. So I'll want to match that to my sword ability, just to keep myself from going crazy. Oh, someone has come in recently and bought him out to overcharge at their own stall. Sorry about that. Hope it wasn't my fault. Okay, garnet. We're looking at B8, B9. Next door neighbors. That's nice. Let me see your wares. That's okay. First of all, screw you. And second of all, there we go. Okay. Yeah, we'll do like 15 of those. All right. Now we can craft our druid knife staff. See what we come up with. Not bad for our first run. Oh, synergy levels in hammer. That's nice. And we get a red staff. Let's pick one that requires the least amount of re-rolling. We're not using backstab, so we can turn that one into flog. That one doesn't even have... It does have requirements for druid and weird. All druid abilities have a chance to restore power. Not bad. Bramble skin, that's nice. Knife base damage. That might be the one we use. That one uses Fan of Blades, and we're not using minions, so regrowth fixing our minions does not help anything. So, yep, looks like that's our poison staff here. Let's go work on a set of level 20 leather gear. For this one, actually, if I've got the materials, I might use cloth for that power regen. Nah, I'll stick with leather just because yeah, a little bit more survivability early on is not a bad thing. All right. Crude everything. So crude leggings, crude boots, crude shirt. And I'm actually not going to worry about the evasion stuff this time, I don't think. I do want them enchanted, though. So let's actually use the enchanted recipes. Okay, druid knife. Sure, that looks good. I just want to make sure I've got enough materials to at least get something working. And I'll summon like 2 more. Okay. Oh, nope. I have leggings. I need a shirt. Oh, and I got gold leggings. Very nice. Okay. We will try. I've got enough of these mats that shouldn't be a problem. So let's pull out like 15 more of those. And we will attempt at least helmet again. All right, here you go. Wish me luck. Ah, okay. I can live with that. And gloves. Big money, big money. Okay, not the worst in the whole world, but not the best either. It's all fine. Mostly we're just looking at mods here, trying to find synergies and things. It's harder with level 20 stuff because there aren't as many available. Like the pool of total mods available is not great. This does introduce the interesting thing that now both of my combat refreshes are melee skills, so that's fun. I do like everything on this. We're going to keep it where it is. Okay. Abilities that fire projectiles or most archery abilities deal plus 56 poison damage over 8 seconds. I have a feeling that mod's one of the core mods behind this build. And this is where, on a poison build, you really would want throwing knives, and you really you would want all of those throwing knife abilities. I'm not gonna be able to do that because I don't have those yet, and the stream's already going long enough, and you don't want to watch me have to unlock all those. So, and then figure out where to get throwing knives from and all that. Okay, Fending Blade restores health, reduces target rage. Let's see if we can get a poison ability on instead of that. Marking cut damage. That reduces target's evasion as a base. Let's just leave that for now, because I do realize I'm running low on flog at the moment. Okay, Surge Cut restores power. Slice ignores mitigation from armor. That's a good one. Poisoner's Cut, which we are adding in. Oh, I probably should have done this first. Let's figure out what our knife abilities are going to be. I think Slice needs to get added back in just in case we end up with that mod that causes Slice to turn into poison damage. Okay. Doesn't look like I have it. So we'll see on that one. Blur Cut's okay. Hamstring Throw, I don't have throwing knives. Gut's fine. We don't have Duelist Slash because I'm not dual wielding. Venom Strike we'll add in. Let's replace one of the ones I put in for trauma. Maybe Gut. Okay. With Venom Strike. I don't have Poisoner's Blade yet, but that would be one that I would add in here. So we'd keep the Poisoner's Cut, sorry. We'd keep that one in. I would keep this one. Okay, abilities that have burst targeting deal nature damage over 8 seconds. Not very useful with this build. Let's see. Probably instead of that one. Okay. Filled with bile causes nice attacks that deal direct poison or acid damage to deal plus 19% damage. That's good. Cloud Sight damage. Cloud Sight is right now nature, but I know that there is a mod. Let's see. I don't know if it's in here. There is a mod that can change Cloud Sight damage to poison, I think. But there are some other options here. I think that's what I'll do for the rest of this. Is I'll just kind of show you what I'd be aiming for. Heartthorn deals poison damage instead of nature. I would take that one for sure. I would take a Bramble Skin mod for sure for a solo build. Would not be using Cosmic Strike, I don't think, in a poison build. So it is nice, and it's a good finisher move. But it's all nature damage. That one doesn't matter. Toxin Ball, I would definitely take here as well. So if I was min-maxing, there's 3 mods right there in the legs that are fantastic. So if I was min-maxing, I would be making Druid primary for pants. Okay. Surprise throw, I would take on a poison build, but other things that I would take, Slice deals poison for sure. Poisoner's Cut boost, so Shirt might be something that I'd take. Knife as primary, but let's see what the Druid mods here are. Bramble Skin's a nice one. Indirect poison damage is the one to take here, I think. And this is just increasing my max armor, so it's not a damaging ability. I'm not too worried about that. But this one is a nice one to have for solo play. So either one of those would be fine. If I'm min-maxing, that's only 2 abilities, though, you notice. So definitely it needs to be Knife primary here, Druid secondary. Okay, on the helmet, none of these are things I'd keep the surprise throw maybe, because we've got the thing that causes anything that does burst damage. And I think surprise throw is an AoE. If not, I'd remove that, but knife-based damage is fine. Poisoner's Cut's what you want here. Fan of Blades. This is a good one because it causes them. It lowers their poison damage resistance. This is a nice utility one as far as for solo builds and things like that. We're not wielding 2 knives. That doesn't matter. Okay, and then it looks like probably the bulk of our stuff's going to come from Druid for this one. So Delirium does poison damage and depletes rage. That's one we want. Having things that do acid is nice. Acid damage does more damage to armor than it does to health, if I remember right. So that's probably the way to go there. Definitely the Toxin Ball, power cost, and damage boost. The Bramble Skin one is nice. So I would probably take, if I was min-maxing, do Druid primary here, Knife secondary. Gloves. Again, if it's not focused on you, this isn't a solo. That is not a solo utility, but maybe good if we're doing a group build. Venom Strike is the one we want to take here for sure. Anything that boosts Fan of Blades is nice because we're getting poison damage from there. With the other mod that we took, this one we did find was fairly nice. It doesn't stack, but it gives that +4 accuracy is super good because you're overcoming a lot of evasion from other mobs. It's only a 4% chance to deal plus 25% damage, but that's still whether that's worth the GCD or not, I don't know. Duelist slash heal. Okay, we're not using duelist slash because we're not double wielding. Fill with bile. This mod is a nice one, and we would definitely want to keep that. Yes, and then the bramble skin mod. Again, if you're playing towards bramble skin, it's super useful. And then this one is a good utility one that you could use. Rot skin hits all targets within 10 meters is a really nice one. Heartthorn does poison damage. We would want that one. Toxin ball. That's also a very good one. So plenty of good poison options for the druid stuff here. I would go druid primary on gloves as well. And then we talked about main hand already. I think we've already looked through most of those. And I don't have jewelry for this build yet, but I'm missing a lot of pieces for this build. So this would be where I would need to, probably my next steps from here, figure out what I'm missing from this build in terms of ability, and then go find those things and get all those unlocked, which would mean some wiki time. But yeah, so there's some of the potential for it. Like I say, I don't have knife high enough to show you how Ice Snake works yet. I've got Ice Snake. I've got my ice abilities up to that point, but I need about 30 more levels in knife before I'm ready to show that off and show you guys what that can do. So that's knife. Upsides that I see from knife just after looking at it today. It is very versatile, so you can mix it with a lot of different things. It looks like it's really good for trauma builds, which means like a knife vampire build would be interesting. I would love to see someone try that out. There's the slashing with knife sword, also trauma with knife sword. Knife psych might be okay, but psych's trauma abilities have super long cooldowns. So, and I think they're almost all direct damage. So I don't know that it would be a super great pairing. I've not had a lot of success with psychology for trauma builds. So, and then yes, you've got all the poison potential. So knife archery, knife animal handling, knife druid. Then you also have, we've talked about slashing. We've talked about trauma. We've talked about, piercing. Yeah, with knife and archery would be interesting to see. And then, of course, ice, because with the ice knife, you can dual wield knives, and all of your abilities that would normally do slashing do ice damage instead, plus the flat % boost to both ice and knife damage. So lots of things that you can do with it. Drawbacks. For me, the biggest drawback on knife is just that it's a melee skill, and I just don't like playing melee. This game is super punishing for melee players, especially without a gap closer, because if you're in combat and you move at all, you are losing power constantly. And so unless there was some kind of really strong, I had some kind of really strong power, like I knew that I had the proper food and cheese and aperitifs and all that kind of stuff going for me, and flowers and meditation and everything, and that power was not going to be a problem at all, then it would probably be okay. But for me, it's just not my play style. I'm not a big melee player. But perfectly viable for, also I would say the other drawback, a lot of the mods are very dependent on you not having aggro. So that whole set of mods is like ruled out for solo play. But if you like melee builds and you like versatility, I think knife is a really strong choice, and lots of opportunities to do a lot of fun builds with it. All right, as always, if you guys have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comments below. If you have video suggestions, if you'd like to see me cover another skill in kind of doing a deep dive like this, that's kind of seems to be what my head is in right now, so you can just let me know what skill you'd be interested in seeing next. But until then, thank you guys for watching, and happy gaming.